On today's primetime local news, City Council approves 2 intersections under the 2020 budget for street improvement.
A lot of trucks, a lot of industrial traffic coming out of there. So if we can help move that traffic along, it'll be an improvement.
And young cadets show new recruits how they can help their community with the Twinkle Tour.
The senior citizens something to do, and it gives us something to give back to the community.
Plus, Salvation Army Red Kettles campaign needs more volunteers this Christmas more than ever before.
Hey, I'm Eric Bay, and today we are stopping by the Lloydminster Hospital, checking out a radiothon happening here today, raising money for this Pyxis medication machine, trying to get those in this hospital. So we're going to have everything that you need to know from back here tonight throughout the show.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
City Council approved reallocating funds from other projects in the capital budget to cover a pair of street improvement items. This will result in the widening of the intersections between 12th Street and 75th Avenue and 44th Street and 62nd Avenue. The first widening of the road is to accommodate continued development in the southwest quadrant of the city.
Has received a lot of positive compliments, and the traffic flow is improved.
The widening off 44th and 62nd is being done with the knowledge that more changes could come.
A lot of trucks, a lot of industrial traffic coming out of there. So if we can help move that traffic along, it'll be an improvement.
The total reallocation of funds amounts to $68,650. The Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle campaign has been going on here in the border city for the last 3 days. However, the Salvation Army is still in need of more volunteers to help stand by the kettles.
As of right now, we are short by 400 hours, which right now we're averaging approximately $57 an hour in collection at each location for each hour. And so that 400 hours converts into about $22,000 that may be short if we can't get those hours filled.
And without having those hours filled, it means they won't be able to reach their goal of $57,000, which means they will only have little over $30,000. According to Major Vaughn Jennings, $22,000 goes a long way in meeting the different needs within the community, such as buying supplies throughout the year.
You could all come join us.
One of the programs that we have are Kids Kits, where we supply elementary and middle schools with 117 little hampers for children that they know of may not be having something to eat over the weekend. So that we purchase fresh fruits for those. So it's important that we can have cash on hand that we can supply that need.
And so far in the first 3 days, they've raised about $80,000. If you'd like to volunteer and help the Salvation Army reach their goal, you can do so by giving them a call. Well, cadets were out in full force at the annual Twinkle Tour, which kicked off last night with a tour of Christmas lights around the city and ended with some community support. Our Braden Chernachan has more.
The night kicked off with a convoy of vehicles taking a tour around the border city and checking out all the Christmas lights. After the tour, guests were greeted by the Lloyd Cadets, who took the night off to serve everyone. For the cadets, it's an opportunity to show new recruits how they can help the community.
Then they come to the Wild Rose Pavilion, and we serve them tea and coffee, and they get to listen to music and talk and chat, and they get to have a fun time over the holiday season.
Later in the night, dancing, music, and beverages were served to all that participated. Some of the Bobcats helped with loading up people and making sure they got back for the dance. For them, the holiday season is about giving back for the helping hand they get.
We just thought it'd be good to support this community because they obviously support us a ton with coming to our games, their sponsors and all that stuff, so it's good to give back.
For next year's Twinkle Tour, participants would love to see more houses decorated to add more stops along the way. Braden Chernachan, Primetime Local News.
We are now in December, and as the holiday spirit approaches, so does the gift of giving. For one student at Rendell Park School, it's a dream of his to make sure that every family has a Christmas tree at home this holiday. Our Jasmine King has more.
Decided to donate the tree because
Well, I'm kind and helpful, and I wanted them to have a tree for Christmas.
That is grade 5 student Tyler Pierce, and this year he donated a Christmas tree to a local family. A few families contacted the school looking for help getting a Christmas tree.
It was difficult. We had 3 families to choose from, and then in the end we had to choose one, so we randomly chose one just so it was as fair as we could.
Tyler has been giving trees to families for a few years as he wants to help those who may not be as fortunate.
In the holiday season, sometimes family don't have enough money to get a tree or ornaments. I got a tree, ornaments, and a tree topper.
Once the family received the tree, they were overjoyed. They now get to celebrate Christmas with a tree.
They were really excited about having a tree. She had 2 young ones that wouldn't have had a tree otherwise. So she was teary-eyed and very grateful for the generosity of Tyler.
I worked on my grandma and grandpa's farm to help raise the money to get the tree. It took me about a year to get it.
For Sheldon Gallagher, principal at Rendell Park, seeing a student like Tyler take initiative on giving back is something he hopes to see in his students.
It's pretty extraordinary. Tyler's a pretty special young man, and we really appreciate, his compassion and kindness and generosity. It's great to see young people with those types of qualities.
Tyler is hoping to continue this on next year. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
And now we go out to Eric Bay, who was on location earlier today.
Back here today at the Lloydminster Hospital, and today we are checking out a radiothon happening, raising some money for the Pyxis medication system, and I'm joined now by Robin Beaker. And so first off, can you tell me a little bit about how you guys kind of heard about this and wanted to get involved?
So we're huge community supporters to begin with. We normally do a donation to the Health Foundation. It just worked out this year. This aligned really beautifully with Giving Tuesday, the gift to the hospital here, and they are in need of these Pyxis machines, so it just made sense how it all came together.
And so I guess what's the importance, especially you mentioned being very community involved, so giving back to the community, maybe not necessarily just in this case, but in general as well?
Well, I mean, Lloydminster has a huge surrounding area that kind of relies on us to provide a whole bunch of services, so any way that we as a company can help support our community, why not, right?
Yep, very good for sure. Now, obviously, you've kind of been around here the entire day, so I guess what have you seen from people coming by, other donators, that sort of stuff here, the support from the community?
I mean, the community support has been huge. It has been so busy here this morning, just in the short time I've been here. They've already raised over $5,000 just in 3 hours. That really, really speaks to Lloyd as a community, I think.
Definitely awesome to hear for sure. Well, thank you for doing this, and we're going to have some more from back here again, talking about the radiothon, raising money for this Pyxis medication system. But before we do get to that, we're going to head back into the studio.
It's -1 here in Lloydminster. We had a fairly clear day out today. The sun was definitely out and we didn't have as much cloud coverage. And it's still fairly clear here, but there is a chance that it could snow overnight and into tomorrow, but it shouldn't be too bad. 22-kilometer-per-hour winds coming in from the west, making it feel like closer to -7 with the wind chill. Across the region on the Alberta side, +1 in Cold Lake, Edson, and Whitecourt, -1 up in Athabasca, 2 in Edmonton, 0 in Red Deer and Rocky Mountain House, and 3 out in Jasper. And on the Saskatchewan side, 1 in Meadow Lake, -1 in Saskatoon, 0 in Prince Albert, -4 in Melfort, and +2 out in North Battleford. Overnight in North Battleford, they'll stay relatively cloudy overnight with a low of -11 with the wind at 7 kilometers per hour coming in from the south-southwest, which will carry over into tomorrow, but switching directions to the west-northwest, and a daytime high of -1 with fairly cloudy skies. Overnight in Cold Lake, they'll have a little bit more cloud coverage overnight heading into tomorrow, when their temperature will drop to -9 with the wind also dropping to 9 kilometers per hour from 18 coming in from the west, which will remain 9 tomorrow coming in from the north-northwest with a daytime high of -5 and a mostly cloudy day. Here in Lloydminster, we'll have a little bit more cloud coverage overnight, and there's about a 50 to 60% chance of some flurries overnight with a temperature of -12 and 11 kilometer-per-hour winds coming in from the west, which will slow down to 9 kilometers per hour coming in from the north-northwest with a daytime high of -3 with a mostly cloudy cloudy day and a low of -12. And then on Thursday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -5 and a low of -9. And then on Friday, we'll get a lot more sun and a little less cloud with a high of -5 and a low of -10. That wraps up your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
In the world of sports, the Bobcats' schedule is packed for the upcoming month. A game every 3 days, practice every other day, and events around the community. Our Evan Kenny breaks down how some of these students still in high school handle their schedules.
Basic, it has to be bigger or smaller.
5 players in the Bobcats lineup.
And if it's an acid, it has to be less than 7.
Just like every other kid, they attend class, study for tests, and do their homework. Plus, they play hockey every day.
I will go to school, do my classes. I'll come here right after school, and then usually we'll have something to do right after practice, as yoga, maybe a workout. Maybe we're doing prep for the SAT. Maybe later in the day it'll be the same thing.
For one Bobcats defenseman, he always knew he was going to Lloyd Comp. He just didn't know the circumstances.
Like, I've grew up watching the Bobcats all the way through initiation, novice, Adam hockey. So I'm honored to be able to put on the Bobcats jersey, and yeah, it's been great just to be able to stay in hometown and go to school and live at home. I know it has a little responsibility with it, like missing a bit of school. Like last week we missed Friday heading up to Fort Mac there, but so you got to always be staying on top of your schoolwork and catching up.
The players spend the first 3 blocks at school, then head off to the rink at lunch.
Well, yeah, for sure we got a busy schedule here, like lots of games and then working out and stuff and in the community, but as long as you're staying on top of things and don't leave things till last minute, then it's not too bad. You just got to make sure it's a priority in your life to get schoolwork done and stay on top of it.
You got to make sure that you're dialed in all the time, making sure you're staying on top of your marks, especially in the Junior A League where guys want to go NCAA. Division I, you need good marks. So
whether it's learning about beakers and books or breakouts and back checks, these students manage it all. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Beyond the Boards is brought to you by City Center Auto Body. For over 35 years, City Center Auto Body has been your go-to auto body shop.
The Swift Current Broncos Junior Hockey Club has announced that they've released their longtime head athletic trainer, Jamie LeBlanc. In a statement, the team said the decision was made following revelations of a recent pattern of demeaning and derogatory comments, threatening behavior, and unprofessional conduct. The club says it won't be commenting further because it is a personnel-related issue. LeBlanc had been with the team since 2001. A new trainer and equipment manager will be announced in the coming days. And while Christmas is just around the corner, basketball in the Lloydminster Public School Division is already picking up in the border city. The senior boys, senior girls, and JV boys at Lloyd Comp were among several teams in the tournament action over the past 2 weeks. Grade 11 students David DiMano won the 3-point shooting competition at the St. Francis Xavier tournament. The girls' team took home bronze after good showing at the John Paul II tournament. The Junior High League begins this Thursday with games at Bishop Lloyd, E.S. Laird, and Holy Rosary. Now to find out more about the weather, we bring up Abby St. John.
Thanks, Judy. We'll take a look at our satellite radar. As you can see in the Edmonton area, a lot of snowfall just past Edmonton, making its way over to the Lakeland region. As I said earlier, there's about a 50 to 60% chance that we could see some flurries overnight, but it shouldn't be anything too severe over here. And then on the Saskatchewan side, again, there's not a whole lot of reports up here, except in Isle Cross as snow is making its way down from the north. They could experience some snowfall in the coming days as well. Current temperatures -1 still here in Lloydminster, as well as in Maidstone, +1 in Macklin and Meadow Lake, 2 in North Battleford, -2 in St. Walburg, and 0 in Pearslin, Green Lake, and in Isla Cross. And on the Alberta side, 0 in Provost, 3 in Wainwright, -2 in Vermilion and in St. Paul and Marwayne, -3 in Vegreville, +2 in Edmonton, +1 in Lac La Biche and Cold Lake, and -1 out in Bonnyville. And tomorrow's forecast, a daytime high of -3 here in Lloydminster, as well as in Vermilion and Marwayne, -1 in Provost and in Edmonton, -2 in Wainwright and in Vegreville, -4 in St. Paul, -5 in Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and -6 in Lac La Biche. And on the Saskatchewan side, -7 up in Isla Cross, -4 in Green Lake and Meadow Lake, -3 in St. Walburg and Maidstone, -5 in Pearslin, -2 in Macklin, and -1 out in North Battleford. Overnight across the region, fairly clear skies in Isla Cross, and then a heavier cloud coverage in Meadow Lake, Bonnyville, Paradise Hill, Pearslin, Unity, and Wainwright. Heavier cloud coverage in Provost and in Mirnam, and there's a chance that it could snow overnight in Mirnam as well, so definitely be cautious about that. Temperatures ranging between -6 and -11, with Paradise Hill and Unity at -11 and Wainwright at -10. Your school day forecast for tomorrow, fairly overcast day for the majority of tomorrow. At 8 a.m. it'll be -12. And then by the time recess rolls around, it should warm up to -9. And by the time lunch is, it'll be -7. And then it'll be -4 as your final forecast by the time school is out. And then a low of -12 for tomorrow. And then on Thursday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -5 and a low of -9. High of -5 also on Friday, but a little bit more sun than on Thursday with a low of -10. On Saturday, there's a 58% chance of some snow with a high of -9 and a low of -9. On Sunday, a 56% chance of snow with a high of -14 and a low of -19, but there will be sun throughout the day. On Monday, to start your week off, it's going to be a relatively cold day with a high of -16 and a low of -18. And then on Tuesday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -16 and a low of -23. That wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news in the question of the day coming up after the break.
Back here today, and we are checking out the Radiothon happening right here at the Lloydminster Hospital. I'm joined now by Malcolm Radke. And so first off, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys actually are doing here today?
You betcha. Yeah, we're here at the hospital all day taking donations for our Lloydminster's Gift to the Hospital campaign. Basically trying to raise $50,000 today to buy one of these fancy new pieces of pharmacy equipment.
And now that is the Pyxis medication system. And so can you tell us a little bit about this machine here and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. So instead of the nurses manually distributing your medication by hand, this is basically a Pyxis automated medication dispensing system. So it's like a vending machine for medication, eliminates the opportunity for any human error when they're administering your medication, and frees up a lot of the nurses' time. We estimate, an average of 10 minutes per patient per day that the nurses will have in extra time they can spend with people.
Now, obviously, again, that's pretty important to be able to get this medication here to patients quickly like that. So just talk about, I guess, the difference that a machine like this can make here in this hospital.
Yeah, it's huge. This system itself, we want 4 of them, one in the ER, one in the medical floor. And, instead of every nurse counting the medication, 2 nurses per count per shift, that's pretty time consuming. So for us, the government's agreed to kick in $213,000, which is huge, and we need to help them get to the extra $422,000 to make sure the entire hospital is decked out properly. I don't think you would really notice it. Obviously, it's a behind-the-scenes thing, but you'll notice maybe the nurses are a little less stressed, they have a little more time for you, or the pharmacists themselves. There's just more control on the pain management. Nurses don't have to wait till the pharmacist is back from her rounds or from the shift change or anything like that. It's just nurse puts in their fingerprint, puts in your patient record, and you get your medication instantly. So, at first glance, compared to maybe a CT scanner or something like that, it's not as eye-dropping, but definitely an important piece of the healthcare team here in the hospital.
All right, thank you for this, and we are going to have some more from back here, again, continuing with talking about the Pyxis machine. But before that, we're going to head back into the studio.
of course, that time for the question of the day, and a lot of people are driving really close to different cars, so we wanted to put this as the question of the day. Drivers are driving way too close behind other cars, especially in the winter time. How far back do you keep while driving? I had somebody drive right behind me, and I was like, ugh, I couldn't handle it because I thought he was going to hit me if I hit the brakes and stuff like that. I think it should be about a car and a half to 2 cars.
That's what someone said as well. A car and a half, 1.5 cars, especially during the winter. Maybe even a little bit more in winter because you need that brake time if the road conditions are slick. And so, one person said it happens too often. You should stay at least 2 car lengths. You can cause an accident or even take a life. Everyone's always in a rush.
Yeah, they are. And when you're driving, especially here, I find from Calgary, I moved here, and I find everybody's like, where are they going? To tell you the truth, it's like, just slow down. Let everybody kind of drive safely, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, switching gears, pet of the day. Thanks for everybody for sending these pets pictures to us for a chance to win a gift card from the Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Joined here with Becca from the SPCA, and she's brought in Moss Cow, which happens to be the longest resident at the SPCA.
Longest resident.
Tell me just a little bit about his story.
Yeah, so he kind of came in, I believe, just as a stray. He did come in with siblings. They've all been adopted now. So he's our last one. He's hanging out at oh my goodness, Puppy Love. Yeah, he's hanging out there. He's in a ferret cage hanging out, and he was quite a nervous Nelly when he first came in. He's gotten a lot better, being exposed to everything that he is over at Puppy Love. He's still a bit shy, but obviously a lot better, like from not wanting to be touched at all to pretty much cuddling right now. But yeah, he's been in our care for about almost 100 days now.
Wow.
Yes.
I know when I was holding him, he didn't try to squirm away. No claws came out. Nothing. He just sat in my arms.
Yeah.
So he's very gentle and very sweet.
Yeah.
So why do you think he's been in for so long?
Yeah, it could be a number of things. I mean, being a black cat at once, could be kind of one of the things. And then being a bit of a shyer cat too. Sometimes when cats are a little bit more on the shy side of things, people don't tend to notice them as much either. And then it could be placement as well too. But I mean, we've had really good luck over at Puppy Love as well. So I think it's just kind of a combination of a few things, and then we're just hoping to find him that new forever home.
And being exposed to puppies, how is he doing with other animals being around so close to him?
Yeah, I think he's really doing well. Like, I think it's really benefiting him kind of thing. Like I said, he's still a bit shy and scared kind of thing. So I think even in a new home, he'll still be a bit skittish initially. But I really think that as long as another animal is okay with him, I think he would probably warm up pretty quick.
And have you seen how he interacts with children?
Not too much. Like they said, a family did come in to visit him yesterday to kind of check him out. So we're kind of crossing our fingers they come back for him, sort of thing. But he gets like really like, he starts to roll in his bed, and he's like wants that attention kind of thing. I think if it's, smaller kids, like if they're loud or screaming kind of thing, that might stress them out a little bit. So, I mean, I would recommend, anywhere from 8 and up kind of thing, kind of home for him. But again, I think it's a good exposure for him as well too. So I think it would be fine for him either way.
And you mentioned earlier that the SPCA is now full again with kittens. So tell me just a little bit about.
Yeah, adult cats, kittens. It's winter time, so we are full. Even on our dogs, we're unable to take dogs in right now too. We do have kennels here and there for the dogs. Like it's just more or less getting them to stay, where we are full. So we're really hoping, like we have one at the vet today kind of thing as well too. But yes, like we have a litter of puppies that are up on the floor now too. And it's just a matter of trying to find them their placement, because we do have one other dog as well, Dewey. He's our longest resident for dogs, and he's been there for about 70 days. Wow. So yeah, we're hoping that he finds a home soon too.
And you have a couple events coming up next week, your jail and bail event.
Yes.
So do you want to just touch on that just a little bit?
Yes, that's my favorite one. I mean, they're all fun, obviously. But yeah, jail and bail, we get to lock up our local celebrities, business owners, just anybody really that wants to help out. So we still have some kennels available if people do still want to join in. But yeah, it's December 12th and from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we're going to try and get everybody up on the website so everyone can see who's coming, and then they can donate on that day.
Which is perfect. And how does the actual event kind of work out with the people who do volunteer to go into the kennels?
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, obviously you're not trapped in there all day kind of thing, but the animals really seem to enjoy it. And then if they, they kind of are getting grumpy with you being in their space, you can always leave and hang out with everybody else kind of thing. Like we have puppies, so we're probably going to try and separate them to hang out with everyone as well too. And even if we don't have enough dogs by that time kind of thing, we can always put kittens in some of those kennels as well too. So we just try and separate it enough that they can hang out in the dog kennels and some of the cat condos with all the animals.
And really quickly before we wrap up, if anyone wants to volunteer or just wants to know more information, how can they do so?
Yeah, they can just call us at the shelter, and then you can chat with me, just 780-875-2809. And then they can also Facebook message us or even email us at giving@lloydminsterspca.com.
All right, well, thank you so much for bringing in Moscow, and hopefully he finds his home very, very soon.
Yeah, home for the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm Justin with Boom 1019 and Hot 93.7, and here's what's happening. The 2019 Candy King Check Stop is going down Friday, December 13th at 4:30 p.m. over at Main Street and 13th Ave here in Wainwright. That's right across from the Co-op Home and Agro Center. Toy and monetary donations will be accepted in support of the Wainwright Kinsman Holiday Hamper Program. So if you are able to donate, it is greatly appreciated. Wainwright High School invites you to the 30th Annual Seniors Banquet. Transportation for this will be provided by the Bison Bus from Each Manor and from the Prairie Row Center. Enjoy lunch, entertainment from the Wainwright High School Band, speeches, and prizes. The 12th Annual Here Comes Santa Claus Day is going down this Saturday. Events will be happening all day. If you've been to this before, then you already know what it's about. That's including food, crafts, family fun, and fireworks to round off the day, which is going to be awesome. But like I said, it is insanely jam-packed, so for a full schedule, please check out our websites, either 1019boom.com or hot937.ca. I'm Justin with Boom 1019 and Hot 93.7, and that's what's happening.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
And we have a guest joining us tonight on Primetime Local News that has come to us from very far away.
From Scotland?
Yes.
In the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Lord Stephen Rossiter, for
me.
joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And you're with Highland Titles.
I am.
This is the time of year where people are looking for Christmas gifts and are
Absolutely.
like, well, I don't want to buy socks again.
Yes.
Let's find something unique.
Something for the person who has everything.
Yeah, you
That's
have the
what this
answer to
is.
that.
I
Tell
do.
me a little bit about what this is.
So Highland Titles is a conservation organisation.
Mm-hmm.
We now have 2 nature reserves in the Highlands of Scotland. We started just over 10 years ago. And we fund our entire business, the entire workings of the nature reserve, is funded by selling a square foot of land at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So for 55 Canadian dollars, you can buy and own a 1 square foot plot of land on our nature reserve in the Highlands of Scotland. But there's a little bit of a catch that comes with it, which is great fun. So landowners in Scotland, they're known as lairds.
Okay.
Laird is effectively land. Now that
Right.
can be used by anybody in Scotland who owns land.
Mhm.
It tends to be used by those that just own vast estates.
Right.
But just by owning a square foot, you can still be a laird. And the English translation of that is Lord or Lady.
Well, that sounds very regal.
Absolutely. So by owning your square foot, you get the courtesy title, and I
Okay.
stress it's a courtesy
Right,
title.
right.
There's no invites to royal weddings coming your way, or invitations from the Queen to attend any breakfasts in Buckingham
Right.
Palace. But what you do get is you get an estate pack like
Mhm.
this, and inside, and for you today,
Yes.
we have gifted you your very own 1 square foot plot.
Thank you.
And you can now be known as Lady Stacey.
Wow. Well, you know, I'm
Now-
going to be using that with my staff, right?
So you should.
Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Absolutely, with your neighbours and everybody. It's a great gift. I mean, people are, as we've said, people are looking at this time of year. But it also is important to know that it helps the conservation.
Right.
So you have to think of it a little bit like crowdfunding.
Mhm.
So we at Highland Titles have never had any bank loans. We've never gone to the local government and asked for funding. The Nature Reserve, which you can see on our website at highlandtitles.com, has grown up purely by the selling of 1 square foot plots.
Right, and you can actually go visit this. You have people, I noticed on the website there's a convention and you can go check it out and check out what you own.
Absolutely. For the last 6 years now, we've held every year a gathering
Mhm.
at one of the local hotels.
And
It
this
can
is in
only take
Glencoe,
in
is that-
Glencoe, yeah.
Okay.
It can only take 100 people.
Mhm.
And we are full. We normally sell out around about January for that. And people come from all over the world. We get people from Canada,
Yeah.
we get people from America, from people from Australia, from everywhere, and people from Scotland.
Yeah.
They come, and we have 3 very good days of telling people how we're getting on with the reserve, some presentations of wildlife, a little
Mhm.
bit of whiskey tasting, because you
Right.
can't come to Scotland without having a little drop of whiskey. And this all happens in May. But other than that, this year, we have had 10,000 visitors come to the
Wow,
reserve.
that is amazing.
And they are looking and searching for their plot,
Mhm.
and they bring their friends and they bring their family.
Yeah.
And we also get, obviously, we get passers-by who will go and they'll buy a plot.
Mhm.
You can buy a plot there as well while you're there. So yes, it's great. It's a great fun gift. And if you keep it a surprise,
Mhm.
we do get some wonderful stories of people who've opened this up at Christmas and gone, oh, I'm a
Oh my
lord,
gosh.
I'm a lady. Yeah.
And now you don't have to buy just the one plot. There are options. I see you can buy
Yes,
like
so
as a group, or you can buy for a couple.
You can buy
or-
a joint plot, so you can
Mhm.
have Lord and Lady of Glencoe.
Yeah.
You can also buy larger plots. So we have, as I said earlier, we now have 2 nature reserves. It's great. We've been able to buy a second nature reserve
Mhm.
4 years ago, and we're starting to look now for a third. And our larger plots. So we have 10 square foot. We have 10 square foot plots.
Yep.
We have 100 square foot plots. We have 1,000 square foot plots, and they are all at our secondary nature reserve in Loch Harbour.
Okay.
But Glencoe is our first nature reserve,
Right.
and that's the one that people like to have a square foot at. So
Mhm.
no matter what size you buy, everybody gets their 1 square foot in
Right.
Glencoe.
Excellent. Well, this is amazing. We're just about out of time here, but I want to thank you for joining us. And
You're
where
welcome.
do people get
So
the information if they want to buy this?
www.highlandtitles.com.
Okay.
Everything is there. You can pay in Canadian dollars.
Okay.
There's a French language site.
Mhm.
And if you put at the checkout, if you put Happy Holidays
Mhm.
in the checkout box, you can get 10% off.
There you go.
There
you
you
can
are.
get a discount.
You can get a discount. Buy now. Everything is printed and shipped from Scotland.
Yeah.
So you have to appreciate it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get here.
Right. So do it now, basically. Get
Do
in
it
time
now
for Christmas.
would be great. Yeah,
Awesome.
lovely.
Well, we appreciate you. We hope you enjoyed
Stacey,
visiting
thank
Canada.
you very much. It's been wonderful. The weather is just how I'm used to.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's good.
Nice and chilly, yes.
Nice and chilly.
Yes, well,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
That's a pleasure.
And once again, we invite everybody to check out the website. One more time with
Do
the website.
highlandtitles.com. Happy holidays in the discount
Great.
box.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.